I think I ate too much salami. My sides are hurting.
What?
My sides are hurting.
Yeah, I saw that.
From salami.
Yeah.
Does salami go straight to the hips?
6 servings. I ate all 6.
How much per serving calories?
900.
110 per. So 660.
700 calories of salami.
I mean, this is a meal. 6 grams of protein per serving. So 36 grams in this whole bad boy.
They said there were 7 servings.
6.
What was in that bag that I picked up from the church for you?
A lot of sodium, which I could taste. Stuff from Mariah, like potions and whatnot.
Potions?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
To make her not sick anymore.
To know you was into that magic stuff.
It was like a potion of resistance, a potion of healing.
Potion of healing, potion of not coughing, potion of...
I got into ChatGPT.
Oh, yeah?
Wow.
Didn't realize it was free. I knew that you had a version you paid for, but I didn't know that
I don't know why
there was a basic one.
Oh, I think I get more questions per week or something.
Oh, there's a limit. Interesting.
I thought there was I thought you said something about maybe it was 10 questions a day for free.
Put this away.
I don't know
how much is for free.
I don't know. I did like 8 questions and then I was like, didn't really want to ask it any more questions, so I was just good for the day. And so I wanted to see if, we were still the Gas Boys. So I asked it about the Gas Boys. I said, who are the Gas Boys? I said, like, fun, creative guys who do videos and they're funny and content and stuff. And then I was like, okay.
Where are they from? Like what?
That wasn't specific enough. So I asked him, I said, who is Gavin? And it described me so well.
A gas boy?
It was like, yeah.
What did they say about
you?
Like
so handsome, super hilarious, like super funny. So,
your appearance?
Dang it. I have it on my phone.
Oh, your
Did I
phone's
send
all
it to you?
over there. No. Was it really good?
Oh, it wasn't really that good. I'm sure ChatGPT could write it again. Look it up and ask it what I asked it.
I don't think you can do that.
Let's see.
What did Gavin ask you?
What did Gavin ask?
Yeah. Just say, what did Gavin ask you
There's
about?
gotta be some privacy thing. If you're able to do that, that's crazy.
There's no way.
Just say, what did the Gavin sitting next to me
No,
ask you?
dude, that's not how this works.
No,
You never know. You pay for the premium version, so
You
just
pray
try
for
it.
that, for stuff like that to happen.
Who is Christian from the Gas Boys?
Because I had it describe me, and then
I gave it sent our logo and then gave a link to our Apple Podcasts.
Oh, that's cool.
Christian Smith is the co-host of the Gas Boys podcast alongside Parker Thiel and Gavin Thiel. The podcast features weekly discussions on various topics, often infused with humor and personal anecdotes. Listeners can tune in to new episodes every Tuesday, and then a link to our Apple Podcasts.
My
and then
goodness.
Sent our logo.
That's cool. Yeah, that's the same logo that I literally have right next to me and behind me. Look at this, guys.
What topics have they spoken about recently?
Yeah, that'll be crazy. Unless it just reads our description.
I asked ChatGPT all of our personalities, like what we bring to the podcast, and it was pretty spot on.
And it was like, Gavin,
it did say
closeted homosexual. Like what?
January 27th, 2025, the host reflected on inappropriate comments they made as children, explored the educational potential of ChatGPT, and delve into the mechanics of music and share experiences about cat ownership.
Yeah, that was my exact description, basically. Well, they mixed it up a little bit, but that's rough.
And then it gave a link to our YouTube.
What I said.
That's cool.
Nice.
Because I had asked it specifically. It said, Gavin brings random stuff, like says random stuff that just gets them into
that
hilarious banter. Because that's
hilarious
true.
Banter.
I would say that's pretty
British.
accurate. And then it said Parker does humor where he like does the deadpan, like, or just like a face.
Interesting.
No way it said that.
It straight up.
What does
I
Gavin
took a
bring to the
screenshot.
Gas Boys podcast?
What kind of
Gavin
spice
Thiel,
and
the Gas Boys,
flavor?
contributes significantly to the show's dynamic through his unique perspectives and engaging storytelling. Yes, isn't real.
That's true. You are a storyteller.
His input often leads to lively discussions and adds depth to various topics. For instance, in episode 173, the host delved into Gavin's recent findings. quote unquote. Which
That was when he kept finding everything.
I
found myself.
Yeah, what the heck? Which sparks intriguing conversation. Additionally, in episode 170, Gavin shares his vision of the ideal Christmas, providing listeners with the personal insights and contributing to the episode's festive theme. Overall, Gavin's contributions enrich the podcast content, offering listeners a blend of humor, personal anecdotes, and thoughtful discussion.
That is crazy that it knows that I brought that up.
I think I wrote that in the description too. But maybe I didn't.
Maybe you did.
Interesting. Do you want to know what you bring to the table, Parker?
Yeah, I'd love to know.
Okay, fine. Jeez.
I'd love to hear one of those classic Gavin stories.
It must watch YouTube though, or like be able to analyze
Parker
YouTube.
Thiel is a co-host of the Gas Boys podcasts alongside Christian and Gavin. He contributes to the podcast, engaging in humorous discussions, bringing his unique perspectives to various topics. In episode 168, Parker shares a personal story about a rat encounter, adding a humorous and relatable element to the conversation. His storytelling and insights enhance the podcast dynamic, making it enjoyable for the listeners.
Because mine literally described like
the rat story was so gripping to everybody. Everyone related to that. How do they know? It also said, but it said Christian was high energy.
Yes.
Like super high energy, like going crazy.
Really?
Yeah.
Literally cannot be tamed.
Yeah. But it literally said your deadpan humor, which made me think like, I don't know how it analyzed that. Because Parker's just like,
yeah, that's got to be visual.
Dang it, dude.
Christian just sits there like
I put who's everyone's favorite host, and then it gave me a bunch of nonsense. Definitive podcast host among Parker, Christian, and Gavin is challenging. And as individual preferences vary among listeners. The podcast, and then he gave a bunch of like, pick one is too hard, but I said, but choose one. And it said, if I had to choose one based on the audience engagement and impact, Parker Thiel seems to stand out as a fan favorite.
No way.
He brings a strong storytelling presence. Contributes to the humor with a sharp wit
anymore. That's me.
And often leads discussions in a way that keeps the energy high. His ability to balance humor with engaging anecdotes makes him a standout for many listeners. However, the chemistry between all three hosts is truly what makes the Gas Boys podcast successful.
That's true.
It's got to just be making stuff up, because how does it? Like no one's ever commented like
great story,
anything that would.
Because Parker also is a
Unless
terrible storyteller.
That's true.
Smart.
If you think about it.
Parker's a bad storyteller. Also can't freestyle.
That's true.
And that's a big part of storytelling.
Ask who's the best rapper.
The best rapper?
Gas Boys.
Okay, fine. I'll ask.
And if it says me, then we know it's not.
These are
real.
questions that every listener once answered, and so we're gonna answer them.
You guys, we
did get a DM kind of disparaging Gavin this week, but it's okay.
No,
what? Who wants to fight me?
It's okay.
What did they say?
It was just a guy who was asking for like humor advice. So he said, I need to go to the experts. Who are you guys? And I was like, wow, honored. And then I responded a couple things.
Thing?
No, he just made a joke.
Oh, what?
But it was at your expense.
Say?
Learn from us. He was, I'll just read it.
What does this guy know?
I said there's not enough information to see who's our best.
He said, thank you very much. I'll keep these in mind, and maybe one day I'll be a comedy master just like you guys, except for Gavin. I see there's still progress to be made for him.
Okay.
It's hilarious.
Who's the one who has the podcast?
Yeah. He's coming to you for advice and then insults you.
Yeah.
He's just learning from us.
Also, all that advice came from me. Parker and I were sitting right next to each other, and Parker was typing stuff up.
It did not.
So, you didn't write down anything I said.
I did not.
What did you say to him?
I said we would give a in-depth. We leave an encoded message on the podcast, so whenever that comes
every
up.
Fourth word.
Every fourth word is our advice.
Word. We love to party with you on every fourth word.
That was just word, every fourth word.
Yeah, it was.
Hey, Josh,
listen.
That's cool. Oh, I can't do it. That'd be really hard to
that would be really
have
hard.
a sentence to somebody.
They did it on
every fourth
iCarly.
word is what you need to
really
emphasize.
That's where I got that from.
Oh, I knew I recognized
They were
that.
trapped in the basement of like some super fan. This could literally be us one day. They were trapped by a fan, and they're like, okay, but listen, please let us at least send a message to our friend for his birthday.
Oh.
It's to Gibby for his birthday because we always celebrate. And they're like, oh, of course, I would never neglect that. And then they encoded a message.
If you said a phrase that was only three words, if you said a phrase that was 3 words over and over again, then the fourth word would just go down the line. But then they could just listen to what there would be no point in coding it because you'd be saying what you're trying to get across.
I love you,
crazy,
please.
Josh.
I love you, help. I love you, me. I love you. I love you, trapped.
I love you, trapped. I love you. Address. I love you is.
Okay, seriously, guys, let's lock in.
That's hilarious.
Did it say who the best rapper is?
No, it said there's not enough information.
That's
Ah,
not true.
dang
It doesn't listen then.
Should we just give it some of our bars and ask it to see who's best?
Yeah,
Get some
analyze this.
information.
Analyze these bars, please.
Do you want to tell your story?
Yeah.
One of your stories? One of your classic?
So here's a classic
Gavin
Gavin
story.
story, but obviously Parker could tell it better.
I can tell
according
it
to
way better, but
ChatGPT.
I'll let you go ahead.
Yeah.
We'll humor you, Gavin.
So I'm working. I get home, and as I'm on my way home, my mom calls me and says, "Hey, have you?" Yeah, I know. I messed up there. I'm on my way home, and my mom calls me and says, "Hey, have you talked to Hannah yet about Anthony?" I was like, "No." She's like, "They said they're headed
Right now.
right
Pause.
now."
Oh my gosh.
I'm going to bleep that out because that's not even like
What did you say?
something that should not be repeated.
Okay, let's restart.
It had there's a reason for saying it. That wasn't explicitly what he said, but it would be hard to imagine a
Be really
different
hard
meaning.
than what I just said. Resume.
Okay. Let me just start over because I did.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll definitely cut it out. I'll definitely cut all this out.
Do you want to actually cut it out?
No, I'm just building my case for being the best storyteller on the podcast.
Okay, Parker, you're literally saying inappropriate things.
I'm just kidding, Gavin. Gosh.
Parker's a pervert.
Go
Anyway,
ahead.
keep that in. I get a call from my mom. She says, "Hey, have you talked to Hannah yet?" And I said, "No." She's like, "Anthony is headed to the hospital." And I was like, "Oh, I had no idea."
Whoa,
And-
that's crazy.
So I called Hannah. I asked her, "Hey, did you hear about your dad?" She's like, "No." I said, "My mom called and said that he's headed to the hospital right now." And she's like, "Oh, what
How
the
did
heck?"
Mom hear about that first prayer chain or something?
Yeah. So we talked to them after. We're like, let us know first before you text everybody to. Anyway, doesn't matter. But I get home, I tell Hannah, and she's like, "No, what the heck?" So she calls Hope because she can see that she's on her way with her mom and dad to the hospital. And they get there. He had been putting in some 8-foot long T-posts for their garden fence to keep deer out. And he was like almost on the last one. He was standing on the back of the gator and like pounding in the T-post, and it just got hooked, came off, and then just brought it straight down on top of his head. And
Oh, didn't he fall off too? Fall off the gate?
I don't. He doesn't really know if he like fell all the way down.
You
Yeah,
just can't remember.
yeah.
Knocked him
Dang.
out.
And so
Was he on conch?
maybe, but luckily he was able to like kind of walk and then last a little bit, like crawl to the door and like
What?
yeah,
Was
get
he bleeding
inside.
pretty bad?
Oh
What?
yeah, there was like he was bleeding like crazy, and so Tina and Hope took him to the hospital. we go to the hospital, and we sit in there for a while. Also, so depressing to sit in the ER, like waiting room. It's so terrible.
One of the worst.
But we finally get in the back after being there for about an hour. I was watching the Ohio State Notre Dame football game on my phone. Just
Oh,
started.
that's where that. Did you ever come over to Rikers?
No,
No, you didn't.
because of that. And so we go in and see him, and we're talking to him. He's doing better, and they had got some gauze on the top of his head, and they showed me a picture of before, and it was pretty nasty, pretty
Like
good
just
sized
his head
gash.
before he got hit.
Yeah,
He's bald.
I said, well, hey, at least they didn't have to shave your head when they gave you staples and like clean it up. So
He knocked me out.
yeah, he kind of tells us what happened or what he remembers, and then we say, all right, goodbye, later, leave. He ends up getting a couple staples. Next night at dinner, we're talking. It's like, so how many staples did you get? He's like, oh, I got 5. And I had told them the story about when I was, I think in 8th grade, we were playing football in my grandparents' living room, I got tackled into a hard solid wood desk chair, and I smacked my head and cracked it open.
Smacked and cracked.
I got 5 staples in the back of my head, and so I told him about that. And so when Anthony was getting his head stapled up, the doctor finishes up and he goes, "Hey, how many?" He's like, "How many staples did you have to put in there?" He's like, 4. He's like, "Oh dang, my son-in-law was just in here, and he was telling me how he got 5 staples in his head." And he's like, "You want me to give you another one?" He's like, "Sure." And so he gets everything back out. He gives him another staple in his head, and then he says, "You want a 6th so you can beat him?" And he's like, "No, I'm good." So he tells me that at dinner. And then what makes the story even better, so we were laughing about that.
I could not imagine what could make it better. Can't wait.
Well, he had the staples removed, and Tina had to take them out.
Oh, yeah. That's
and
crazy.
4 of them came out super easy. And then the last one, like only one side came out.
Oh, no.
And then Tina had to like yank pretty hard and like kind of hurt his head again when ripping out that 5th staple. I said, "That's what you get for putting in 5 staples when you only needed 4. So
Goodness gracious.
I was like, it's never going to work out if you try and just overdo it for someone else. So.
Yeah, you know what? That's a good saying.
Shut up. It's so hot.
Pride comes before the staple gets stuck in your head.
Yeah, that's a terrible story.
No, that was good.
Yeah,
That's funny.
but you could have started it like
I know, just
where
at
he's
the hospital.
Yeah.
I'd have to tell the whole thing.
I was driving home. I got a call.
So I was at work. No, actually, no, I got a call from my mom.
Just
Okay,
make it
though.
like cut
Like,
it
I was
to
in-
like half.
Yeah, it's funny.
That was a 17-minute story. Oh my gosh, it's terrible. I'm so sorry, you guys. We did ChatGPT for a while.
That was good.
Yeah. So he got staples in his head. Parker and I finished the shred.
Yeah.
Wow.
Read the Bible in a
Shred.
month.
My boys have Shrode.
Mm-hmm.
A month of Shrode. How do you feel?
And we started it again.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you read yesterday?
No.
I forgot as well.
What do you mean you didn't read yesterday?
We're starting a 90-day one. Read
90-day
it chronologically.
Just a little bit less, but in like order of events. So that'd be cool.
Oh, gotcha. Who's that with?
Just
That's not a program you're following?
It
No,
is a plan.
It is a
Bible
program
plan.
that's just like I found on the Bible app. Do you want to do that one with us?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Oh, you know what? Yeah. Just kidding.
Oh yeah, I definitely do.
Have you read any more books since?
Yeah, I read a few more.
Oh, nice.
I've read 1984 by George Orwell.
Oh, that's classic.
I've read, I think I actually talked about this last week, but I read, Lord of the Flies, already done so.
Yeah, it was like a day or something.
I've been reading this one called, that I found at the thrift store called, what's it called? It's called Can Man Live Without God? It's like a apologetics thing, which is like common, arguments against religion.
Yeah.
Or arguments that are like the idea is that religion has done more harm than good and that kind of thing.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness, that's what I said.
Oh my gosh.
It was appalling to read. No, just kidding. It was a good book, and I'm not finished with that one yet.
Hmm.
And then
Everybody wants to hear about your goals. There
you
were
guys,
several comments.
Seriously,
Oh, yeah.
no, there was. Was there really?
Yeah,
There was.
You
At
guys
least
love
a
my
comment.
goals so much.
There was one.
Yeah.
And it was
Who was it?
Belle.
Dang, that's my sister.
No, I think it was a different Belle.
Oh
Oh, maybe it is Bella. Is she the Belle that's been commenting?
no, she's not. I don't even think she has.
She doesn't even know.
She
what
doesn't even
YouTube
know
I
we
don't
do
even know
this.
she knows how to type.
is.
She's 16.
She
She's
doesn't
like
have thumbs.
Yeah, I don't think they're working
She's
at
not-
least right now.
technologically advanced enough. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm shredding it down. I don't know if I'm gonna get to 100 to be honest. But
Bro, that's a lot of books.
That
That's
is
what
a
I'm
lot
saying.
of books.
yeah.
Plus, you'd be more focused on like, I just gotta get through this book to read 100 of them instead of just like
Yeah, that's
getting
true.
narrative.
I think my motivation is like there's so many books that I want to read.
so many books in the world.
Yeah, and just in the world.
See, then if you
And I
read,
just keep finding more, and like I got to read that, and then I just got to add it to the end of the list, which is like 90 more books. So I'm like, oh, this sick book, I want to read it so bad. Let me read it in 3 years.
yeah, that's why you just. I think that's.
But I've been
if you
going
do
on a lot of
less,
walks, and I just put it on 1.5x in my ears.
Yeah.
And I prefer to like read the book physically because I think it's cooler, but if I need to and I don't
Just
have much
listen.
time, I'll just listen on my walks because that's so much time to waste of when I could be doing them at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
I would shred a lot on the treadmill.
On the
At
treadmill?
the gym.
I call it the shred mill.
So reading, listening,
Yeah.
walking.
His head's just like so stable. Everybody's like,
Yeah,
I
so-
tried it. I can only do music at the gym. I just find myself having to just like rewind and listen to the same part and then rewind again because
yeah.
I guess the treadmill's pretty monotonous,
Yeah.
so that wouldn't really be the
If
same
I'm
thing.
working out on a machine, I'll try to. I usually won't.
Yeah.
I wouldn't.
Goodness.
That's where I become a fiend. The Chiefs and the Eagles
Oh,
are in the Super Bowl.
yeah.
But I wanted to hear you guys' thoughts on. I also wanted to share mine. Like, who do you want to win? Also, somebody in the Three Wise Men questions asked who we thought was going to win.
oh, sickening.
It is sickening. It's hard to say because both of them
Have their downfalls.
It's the worst ending to college and NFL football.
At least Notre
I've ever
Dame didn't win.
experienced. Actually, there was a year, I guess, when Oregon lost the national championship to Ohio State, and the Seahawks threw that pick against the Patriots.
Yeah, that was pretty
That
terrible.
was in the same year.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, I'm
that
pretty
was
sure.
2014.
Yeah,
I mean, I didn't know the Seahawks one was 2014. I thought that was later.
I'm pretty sure.
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure.
That'd have been a pretty terrible season. I remember just losing to the
I've
Patriots.
kind of come around though. I mostly want both teams to lose if that's a possibility.
It's
Both
not.
teams lose,
Unfortunately, it's not.
but I want.
The only way that would happen is if people got hurt. That would be a losing. But it's the end of the season, so they have all that time to recover.
I think I want the Chiefs at this point
That's
because
the
Eagles
most-
fans are so terrible.
that's
the
most
Eagles
insane thing
because
I've
of the
ever
fans
heard.
because you have the most annoying players
I think
of all
Chiefs
time
fans
on
are
the
much
Chiefs.
more annoying
versus-
and their players.
The Eagles fans are just mean.
Yeah, but some of them, Chiefs fans are mean and they're. I mean, I don't really know if they're mean, but
We've
they
been
just,
like we went to that one parade. I
No,
didn't
Chiefs
see,
fans
like,
are arrogant.
I
Yeah,
would
because
say
they're
that.
with they're with their people. They think that we're Chiefs fans.
That's true.
So it's like if you're, and the players. Gosh, I hate the Chiefs so much. I just can't handle it.
It was pretty infuriating watching the AFC Championship game, and like, I got to post
Some
that
of those
one
calls,
that I want to
bro.
pull up.
Some of those calls, and then you go online and you see these Chiefs fans that are defending it and being like, "No, look from this angle. I think that it actually was a good call." It's like if they were just like, "Man, I'm glad we got that call. That's crazy," because they got some calls and then we got some calls, but they're just like, "No, I don't know what you're talking about."
Yeah.
Like this play right here,
Yeah, it makes
this
me
first
sick.
down. or
That one that
fourth
was
down.
even more egregious than that was the drop that they had on like the 3-yard line. The ball clearly hit the ground. Originally, they called it like an interception
Like
or
that's
something.
the first down marker was right on the 40-yard line, and he is like, there's the ball, like on his left shoulder.
Yeah, that's...
That one, literally, the ball
And then
like
this.
bounced off the turf, and they called it a catch, and they scored a touchdown right after.
Yeah.
The ref right here looking at the Chiefs lineman holding the Bills player's neck and does not call a holding.
Yeah.
And then this one right here, where the ball is like mostly picked, hits the ground though, and they call it a reception for the Chiefs. Like the Bills player has
Look
it,
at that.
but it also hits the ground right
Hit,
there.
Like,
And then he
oh.
rips it out of his hand. That's insane.
and then he hits. That could have been ruled interception. Could have been ruled incomplete. Should have been ruled incomplete. If it's not incomplete, it's an interception.
And then this one here,
But to rule it as a
Travis
completion for the
Kelce's
Chiefs,
all up in his face, taunting him. One guy, like, kind of gets in his face too, and they call the flag on the Bills player
Just
after any
smooch him.
flops. Oh,
and you want the Chiefs to win.
the last piece of content I consumed was a guy who was at the Eagles game and Commanders
yeah,
stuff.
he
And
got
they're so
kind of whooped
terrible.
up on by the fans.
Yeah, I saw
It
that.
was
wasn't doing
it's the
nothing.
dude that goes to places just wearing the opposite team's jerseys.
Oh,
Just to see what'll happen.
Yeah,
that's actually pretty hilarious. He came to Oregon. Did you
Did
see
he?
that video? Yeah.
I saw him at like the Big Ten championship wearing Oregon stuff.
He was
in
at
front of Penn
Autzen. I
State.
saw a video. He was at the Autzen game when I was at Autzen. He was there for Ohio State.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I didn't see him, but
That's funny.
it's actually hilarious.
Man, it's gonna be a terrible day. We just have to hope we make like a 15-leg parlay and that
Yeah.
hits. That's the only thing that's gonna make it better.
I was talking to my uncle Nathaniel today, and he knows some people that are putting one together. That it's like $50, and if both teams score a rushing touchdown and a passing touchdown in the first half and the second half, it's like $1,500. But I don't know.
That's not a good bet.
Yeah, that's true. That's probably not going to happen.
Good.
That would be pretty
$50
insane.
for that.
Or no, sorry, not $1,500. $7,500.
Okay.
It's $50 for $7,500. Both teams have to score a rushing touchdown and a passing touchdown in both halves.
But like,
That's
even
crazy.
just thinking of those alone, 28-28 is a pretty high scoring Super Bowl. But last time they were in the Super Bowl, it was pretty high scoring.
Yeah, and quarterbacks are running the ball in a lot. They're both good throwing quarterbacks as well. So if it's going to be a matchup to have, it'd probably be this one.
I mean, I think it'll be a fun game to watch.
Yeah, probably.
My goodness.
Disgusting.
But who do I think is going to win? Probably the Chiefs.
Probably.
No, I think the
Just
Eagles.
the way it's been going.
I think the Eagles are going to win.
I would go for the Eagles if their fans weren't so terrible.
I mean, I really thought
Maybe
the Bills were going to beat the Chiefs, but somehow
the refs helped them too much.
it's just incredible.
I think this is something that we should all do. I mean, we already kind of do it because we have a podcast.
Gavin's got a really good idea, it sounds like.
But my grandma, my Nana, I've never called her grandma, actually. But my Nana,
That was so
She-
uncharacteristic.
my parents got her this thing called Storyworth last year for Christmas. And so it gives a prompt every week, some question just about different things that comes up with it.
Is that the ads that are like, Grandma, I want to hear your story?
Yes. It was actually pretty good. I read the whole book in a day.
The book?
Yeah, it turns it
They
into a
compile
book.
it into a book.
Oh, of her answers?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
So
we
it was
should do that
actually
with each other.
it was actually really cool because
We got it here.
that's what I'm saying for us.
Yeah.
But I think even the stuff that we don't talk, there's a lot we don't talk about on the podcast. Parker's gonna kill you if you touch the camera again.
It's not
I'm
moving.
gonna
I'm pressing just this part
No,
right
it's
there.
Wired up so it electrocutes him.
Yeah, I'm gonna cover it in
Spray bottle.
poison.
No, not
So when he touches it, it gets into his fingers and his eyes and mouth.
But there's a lot of stuff that
every episode to where I build an immunity.
just a little bit.
And then one episode you're just gonna be touching
I'm
like
just gonna be
crazy.
licking it down.
Christian, what are you doing? I'm so thirsty.
How was
right
your
now.
grandma's storybook?
It was really good. There's so much I didn't know. I knew a little bit about her childhood, but basically she grew up in Montana until she didn't say exactly what age, but elementary school. And she just talked about her great grandma a little bit because she was like, "Oh, who's one of your heroes in your life?" And she's like, "There's so many different people, but her great grandma Rose,
Whoa.
who they had a farm in Montana, grew a couple of different crops, but basically just talked about like all the time that she spent with her grandma and all that. Just made me think about like we lived so close to our grandparents that we got to go over there every day after school and just walk over there whenever. So it was just cool to hear about her upbringing and stuff like that.
So that would that be our great grandma? Because if it's Nana's great grandma.
Great grandma.
Isn't it crazy? Like that's the first time I've ever heard that name.
Rose?
Yeah, of a family member.
Yeah.
In a few
You know, they
generations,
say that you
no one's
die
gonna
twice.
remember you.
They say you die twice, and the first time is when
Really?
you die.
Yeah, second time is when they forget about you.
Second time is the last time someone says your name. Gavin's keeping great grandma Rose alive.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness!
You guys keep saying her
just
name.
rebirthed our great grandma.
Welcome back, Grandma Rose.
Did it?
But there was just a bunch of different stuff. There was this cool story because she had one chapter called How God Speaks in Dreams. And I think Nana is a first generation Christian, and so is our papa. My dad's mom and dad were both first generation Christians. And my grandpa he talked about this dream he had where he felt like he hadn't heard from the Lord or hadn't felt like close to the Lord in a while. And so my nana's like, well, you should just pray and, the Lord reveals himself. And so he prayed and asked the Lord to reveal himself to him, and he was spending some time, and he had the same dream 3 nights in a row about him going to the hospital and talking to my great grandpa Arvel, who was sick with cancer, and just talking to him about Jesus. And he told my Nana this, And so she was like, well, why don't you need to go do it? So that day he went to the hospital, and my great grandpa, you know, he didn't grow up in church and didn't really have a relationship with the Lord. And so when my grandpa shared that with him, he decided to accept Jesus as his Lord and Savior and gave his life to Christ in that moment. And then he ended up passing away. I don't think it was too much later from the cancer, but like just like something that had stuck with him for so long. And like my dad had even mentioned it one time before, I think, where that was like something that my grandpa was always super proud of, was like being able to lead him to Christ.
Yeah,
so
that's crazy.
I thought it was cool because I hadn't really heard that full story. I just known that was something that he was proud of, but I didn't really know what happened. But that he had that dream 3 nights in a row. And Nana kind of shared about her relationship with the Lord in that book, which I haven't really ever talked to her a whole lot about, and just like her upbringing and stuff like that, and how that really changed and shaped her life. But it was cool.
Yeah.
You should read it.
Now that is a good Gavin story.
I think that it would be, that's why I think like with the podcast stuff that I was just thinking about as I was reading the book or afterwards, that I would like to maybe, you know, write a book someday similar to that, but to have the podcast is kind of cool just for down the road generationally, for kids and grandkids to be able to kind of see what you were like in that time.
We're never going to die.
The internet's
true.
forever. Unless you know there's an EMP
Dang it.
blast.
Oh.
That's when we really die. Second death is when the EMP goes off.
And the internet is gone. So yeah. So I think it'd be cool, you know, writing a book though someday too, because easier, more condensed format of things that you've done in your life. Like just like I even think about like my old jobs I've had that I really loved, like working at the ranch, and then just time of in different friends and stuff in Oregon, and just what we used to do in Oregon versus like the day to day versus here, and how different it is.
It is very different here. It still doesn't really feel like real life here.
We hang out so much, like just the three
We
of us.
hang out so much in Oregon.
We
though.
hung out a lot back then. I
Yeah,
felt
well,
like.
we were also single back then.
Dang. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that's
And we'd
true.
also hang out in much larger groups. Now
I
that
know.
we're married and you're about to be married, it's pretty much just the 6 of us.
Dang it.
No.
I know. I see all the other people hanging out, and I'm like, that used to be me.
Mm-hmm.
You guys want to do 3 Wise Men?
Probably get us in the mode.
Yeah, let's do it.
Oh my goodness.
Youth group cutie. Gavin, how about you tell him?
What?
This one says, "How do I riz up a youth group cutie?" I
that's
think
a
this
good
is
one.
from a girl. I think.
Oh,
I don't remember. I can't see the picture.
dang it. Gavin, you're really good at this. Why don't you tell him? Gavin loves rizzing up the kids at youth group.
That's actually what you
That's
did.
actually terrible.
That's what you did.
That's not
when
what I
you
did.
were a kid.
Yeah.
I was not a kid.
You. Oh my goodness.
Also,
I was
I
a
meant-
leader and Hannah was a leader.
You should always be a kid at heart.
Yeah, that's actually true.
Christian,
you guys
you
seriously
say.
write that down. What do you mean I say?
What do you say?
Let me think. I think the first time that I interacted with Haley was at youth group. It was actually at high school group. And neither of us were in high school. Actually, she was.
Goodness. Wasn't it at the Smith's apartment?
Yeah.
That was youth group.
That was youth group.
Okay, yeah, then it was. And I was high school aged, but I just graduated a year early, so it was like not really the same thing.
So it's like, oh my gosh, she's so smart.
Yeah.
So young.
Literally. That's what everyone was saying at the
So,
time.
yeah.
And I think that we didn't actually talk, so
Oh, that's actually
you
really.
just have to look nonchalant, just kind of walk around.
Yeah.
Don't talk to anybody, just keep your head down. Someone says something, just one word response, yo.
We gave one.
Someone says something, oh, you're good.
No. Don't talk to me, please.
Yeah.
Maybe just like roast the ops.
Don't
Christian
chime
used to
in.
do that a lot.
Roast the ops.
Yeah, I remember you guys went down to Medford one time for some worship night or something. They wanted Life Bible to do worship. And I think you were drumming or something.
Uh-huh.
And I remember you texting Parker and I and just telling us how you just like were roasting kids and they were crying.
Oh my goodness, that sounds exactly like me.
Christian back then was just a
I don't remember
menace.
that, but that's hilarious.
Bro,
It is
I literally
hilarious.
remember Christian texting like, "There's this kid like trying to roast me, like trying to make fun. It was like
That
making
sounds
fun
like
of me,
the
and
Medford
I
kids.
just you just roasted.
Just roasted this, cooked him.
He was like crying.
Cooked him to a pulp.
Yeah,
I think I remember that, and I think it was we were playing Black Ops
yeah, or something.
before service started.
Yeah,
At church, at youth group.
Yeah, that's crazy.
bro. They had like
I know they had like
Xboxes
I think
and
they have
stuff.
Switches now.
yeah, they
They
did.
gave everybody switches.
The ops have Switches, I think.
Dang it.
Switchblade.
Yeah, I don't know. If this is from is this a woman that texts us in?
Yeah.
A youth group cutie. I would say just not like that. Probably just wait it out until you guys are in college. But what do you think? Do you think high school is a good age to start dating?
Yeah. Yeah, I was been thinking about that
Ugh.
actually with like my own kids.
Yeah.
Not that we're having
Because
any-
you're gonna like someone in high school.
I'm not. I'm married.
No, not you.
Oh,
When you are in high school,
Oh,
children.
gotcha.
Yeah, you can like
Or
someone in
listeners.
dang elementary school.
Yeah, like
when
it's gonna.
you're also in elementary
yeah,
school.
but to
Yes.
date them in elementary school,
That's crazy.
That's
Middle school is
crazy.
crazy.
middle school,
Freshman,
relation-
sophomore year, less crazy.
Remember like 8th graders dating 6th graders at my school, and it's like,
Remember like senior
Oh my
dating
gosh.
freshmen?
yeah, that was foul.
Seniors dating 8th graders. We had a couple of that.
Even like freshmen dating 8th graders, it's like, what,
That's
come on.
crazy.
It's like social classes are like
It's like the
Colliding.
caste
Colliding.
system in India.
yeah, exactly. The untouchables are starting to get touched by the high schoolers, and it was always
It was
really chaotic.
very
It's like,
unfortunate.
what is
So
happening?
yeah, I don't know. I'm not very good at this. I don't think.
I think it just depends on the kid. I think it's more of a maturity thing. Than
Yeah,
like,
probably. There's some people that are locked in.
yeah.
You know, back in the day, they used to get married when they were in high school.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
crazy.
Different times.
Different
Um,
times.
What is this here?
Do thou?
Doth thou pookie or dookie? All right.
What does that
I think
even
that was
mean?
Justin.
Come on, you guys.
What is that?
It's so Justin.
So this is what we're sending to Three Wise
we
Men.
go.
Sorry, that was purely on accident. It looks fine still.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I punched
just
the
left
camera
it.
right now in case you guys didn't know.
We go straight from that to my brother's wife hates me and my family and recently blocked my sisters and me on Instagram. What do I do?
Interesting.
It's all right. It's just Instagram.
Hold on, let me read this
Maybe other
slowly.
social media.
Write it
My
out.
brother's wife hates my family. My brother's wife.
So her sister-in-law.
Sister-in-law hates my family and recently blocked my sisters and me on Insta. What do I do?
That'd be like if Hannah blocked me and all my sisters.
Yeah. I see. Okay. I don't know. It depends on what you guys did. Are you guys being hateful? Don't
Yeah.
be hateful.
Just write it out.
Some
You'll
people be
fine.
like that. Interesting that it's your like sibling's spouse and it doesn't sound like your sibling has blocked you guys.
Yeah.
Maybe she's just crazy.
That's always a tough situation to be in. As the man in that situation, being the
my
one whose
wife
wife
hates my
hates her
entire family.
sisters, is like, how do you try and take sides? Just probably figure out who's right and then take sides with them.
But you can't really
But
not
also,
take the side of
yeah,
your wife now.
just
It's your
don't
wife now.
marry
You
someone
picked her.
that would be on the wrong side.
You picked to be on her side for the rest of your
Figure
life.
out why they're on the wrong side.
Sorry, bro, you're locked in now. You have to be on her side probably. You see that a
Probably
lot
just
with
leave
like
it up to your brother.
mother-in-law versus wife. It's like mom versus wife arguments that happen sometimes.
Yeah, that's crazy. I see that stuff. Like I've seen like gender reveal ones. Have you seen that one where it's like the mother-in-law or his mom comes in and like like hugs
yeah, and
the
like
husband.
starts hugging him.
Yeah,
yeah, it's
and
pretty crazy.
that's got to be a fake video. I keep seeing the same one, and the wife, the soon-to-be mother, is just like, what is happening?
Sounds like her bro's got to step up though.
Yeah, bro, step up, bro, for real.
Yeah,
Get him listening to the podcast as we do. Get your brother to listen to the podcast. Get the whole
And-
family to listen to the podcast.
Yeah,
Let's have a
everyone
good
get
time.
together.
and
start
have
listening.
them leave a 5-star, and then maybe we
Everyone's laughing.
can like. They're just like, oh my gosh, this is such a hilarious.
I don't know what we were so worried about.
situation.
This is hilarious.
Yeah, life is so easy.
Do you think living on Mars is attainable? If so, what would be your additions / suggestions? My
Redo-
suggestions for Mars?
Remodel the entire planet.
I
Put some
saw
water
something.
on it. Probably
It's so ugly
vegetation.
I saw this rendering of their thoughts of how we would live on Mars. And basically, we send some machines up there to create these mud domes or whatever
Clay.
organic material is on the surface of the Earth, of Mars, excuse me. And then that creates this dome. And then inside the dome is where we actually put like these pods that are basically inflatable to begin. Because otherwise, when you're like framing a house or something, when you're actually building something, it takes a lot of time to get this exterior structure. But you need something that can keep the atmosphere inside the room
Oh, wow.
without the outside elements penetrating it. So I think that's the idea of this mud or organic matter structure is protecting you from storms, because I'm sure there's still storms on Mars and there's weather.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it unless it was catastrophic and the Earth was about to explode. Kind of like Interstellar, where we're running out of resources or whatever.
They had so much corn.
But I think that there would be a lot of people that were enthusiastic about it. Probably single people, people that don't have family
or purpose,
and just kind of want to do something incredible. That would be like the epitome of that kind of situation. Like you could get a motorcycle, you could join the army, or you could go to Mars.
Ride a motorcycle on Mars.
Are you kidding me?
While you're in the army.
Yeah. Get the army up there.
There would be a space army.
Elon's gonna get it figured out, I think.
Not in this lifetime. There's no way.
Really?
No, nobody's living up there.
Too many variables.
Not living up there, but also, we'll get some boots up there.
We do not need to live up there.
No, we don't need to, but that's kind of the purpose of humanity. Has always been to expand and discover and conquer.
It's interesting.
What about the ocean? I think.
But there's not much potential there, I don't think.
Living down there.
Underwater cities.
Like, that would be sick.
So much logistics.
But so much.
You think space is less logistics?
I think it's easier to go to space than it is to
on Mars would not be as heavy as the atmosphere underneath the ocean.
And it's more sick.
Water pressure.
Like a population on Mars, a civilization on Mars is like, whoa, we're literally in Mars right now. We can see the whole galaxy. Look, there's Earth. That's where everyone is. A civilization underwater is just like black nothingness.
I don't think you'd be able to see
No
Earth,
one can see you.
You could create.
You can see it just like you can see Mars right
funnels,
now. It's sometimes like little dots.
That channel light to the bottom. Like, we could get light to the bottom.
We need to get this guy on the team.
Bro, I was going to be a dang scientist, you know.
Why don't we just,
biologist,
pump all the water out of the one spot you want to build?
Easy. So we better get a bunch of sand.
Mm-hmm. They actually do that.
A bunch of
when
sponges.
they build bridges.
Also in Minecraft, when you're trying to drain out like a underwater pyramid.
Put a bunch of glass, throw a bunch of sponges in there, boom. Break the sponges, and you can look around. Oh my gosh, I'm underwater. So sick.
So awesome. What the heck? Yeah.
Do you think he was actually doing Elon was doing a...
Oh, yeah, I saw that, where he gripped his heart and then just threw his hand out there like crazy.
Still just a weird...
little too high.
Yeah,
a weird thing
to do. What are we
do.
doing? Obviously, that's going to be... No matter what your intention is, you have got to think that through. And then he did it twice. He did it forward and then turned around and did it again.
And everybody's like, whoa.
Yeah,
you need to leave.
Yeah, that was crazy. Come on, Elon.
Yeah,
pull it together.
Really weird.
I'm not so sure about artificial intelligence in the robotic sense of putting artificial intelligence. I think maybe him, and also, did you see Mark Zuckerberg, dude trying to act like all normal?
Yeah, he's trying to become human again or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That dude is crazy.
That dude is crazy.
He's like trying to be cool and hip and grow out his hair. Just be like, oh, what up, guys? I'm just one of the dudes. No,
yeah, for real.
That guy is weird.
We don't even care. We don't even have transgenders on Facebook anymore.
Yeah. Anyway, what's the other question?
This one's not a question, but it's just showing the temperature.
Oh, what is it? It looks negative.
I wish I could see the question.
Zoom in. Can you zoom in?
There's no like...
Oh, wow.
That's like his dang coordinates. So he just sent us his coordinates.
Yeah.
Would you want to live in this weather?
-10, low, -19.
Is he on Mars? Is he sending us Mars temperature right now?
I think I remember kind of what he was asking. It was basically, is it worth living in this?
Oh yeah, no
Weather.
What's your
Michigan? Maybe
your high is -10. That's crazy.
That's when it's game over. The closest I've experienced is like -2 probably, and it's painful how cold it is.
Is that in Eastern Oregon?
Yes.
Freezing out there, and it also just feels like hopeless because it's so empty,
desolate, bro.
And you're just in a desert.
What do I do?
And it's freezing in the desert, and you're like,
Mars.
what the flip?
Yeah. And it just hurts. We have crazy layers on. I guess there's clothes that are designed for that probably you'd feel fine, but I feel like I was stacked up, and even still through my clothes, just painful cold. Advice on making decisions.
Oh, I love making decisions in the sense of think it through before you just make this big life choice, even small life choices.
Even small life choices like hand gestures at inauguration.
Yeah. Like think about something. Ask a second opinion from someone you trust. That's always good. I learned this from Dave Ramsey. This is applicable.
You say, pray about it, man. So
Better than I deserve.
No, he talks about any purchase you make that's over
Any
$100.
purchase you make that's over $100.
Think about it
Think about it
for 24 hours
for 24 hours
before you do it.
before you do it.
I think about that all the time, especially when I buy tools and whatnot, making decisions like that. Be like, oh, is this something I really need now? Is this really going to increase
Then
efficiency?
you probably end up not buying it unless you really needed it. What if
Yeah.
it's like an emergency life raft and your house is getting washed away by a flood?
That's just instinct.
Really?
Yeah.
But what if I just need, financially, am I going to be okay?
To buy the life raft?
I should probably
what?
think about it
Or to
first
get in the
for a
life
while.
raft. Or just fake your death and then get out of debt and start over.
Yeah, that's actually probably
new
better.
identity. That's actually probably the best option. Yeah, do that.
What's the craziest thing you've read in the Bible?
Ooh.
One of the funniest was just like the she-bears that Elijah sends at those people.
Yeah. What's up, Baldy? And then
Cast some bears out from the woods.
she-bears. What is
Yeah.
a she-bear? Is it
Woman
just a
bear.
bear that's a female?
Yes, that's exactly what it is. Oh.
And they just tore them apart. That's crazy. That is crazy. There's a lot of crazy stuff in the Bible. You know, people doing stuff they shouldn't. People getting killed, doing nasty
You
things.
see Jack's question there?
Yeah.
What?
Who's the GOAT? La Sunshine or MJ?
Dang. Who's the sunshine?
The Sunshine,
Seems
dude?
What is the
He is
sunshine?
our sunshine.
I don't know. What does that even mean?
LeBron or Michael
What
Jordan.
does that mean? La Sunshine, bro.
The greatest of all time.
Yeah, it's really
Is what
hard
he's
for me
asking.
because I've always believed that MJ is the best, just from external
That's what I've
sources,
gotten.
just saying that
Everybody
you should
says.
believe that he's the best. But nowadays, I've been kind of looking at it, and I've been doing the math,
Well,
and I've
maybe it's
been
Luka.
using my eyes. Whoa, and it's like, oh, LeBron might be the greatest of all time. And it's actually not might. It's like LeBron's probably the greatest of all time,
Mm-hmm.
and he definitely is.
Yeah.
And a lot of old heads are but he doesn't have the
Well, just
the
like
what is it, the unspeakables or the untouchables or whatever,
Oh, the
intangibles.
Intangibles.
Yeah,
what does that even mean?
I don't know.
It doesn't have them though. It's all they know.
He doesn't have the intangibles.
No,
Oh.
he doesn't.
Sorry. Not tangible.
Now that this weather's turning around, we should do another doc-isode
That's
true.
true. Before it gets too hot.
before it's too hot.
Also, we could do it in the sunshine.
yeah.
Doesn't have to
Oh
be
yeah,
at night.
daylight.
Yeah, that's
That
true.
then would. Oh my gosh.
Oh.
You
Never mind.
I would
guys,
say
this guy
then
can.
that way people know that we actually caught a fish, because I mean you just pull up a fish from the darkness. It could have been
I know,
A
and they're so
store-bought bass.
hateful too.
All the hateful
Can you
comments.
believe how hateful they are? That's
Get
not a
outta
real
here.
fish.
some dude commented on the last episode.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, F it. Just started watching it, episode 179. Did I miss anything?
No, you did.
I was like, no, this is actually right when it starts getting good.
What?
funny stuff. Banter with commenters.
Goodness
Parker.
gracious!
And I said
You were
parentheses,
on-
also we don't swear.
Did you actually say that?
Yeah.
Oh, that's very condescending.
Parentheses.
Because that probably sounds like you're being a teacher. Like, oh, we don't say that.
That's
Because you were
actually-
just saying
that's
like we don't
hilarious.
swear, like as us we don't swear. But like he swore in your comments like, oh, we don't swear here. Oh,
we don't do that.
We don't do that.
No,
Sorry. So he's never listening again.
No, he got it to this point of the episode.
No,
now.
he thinks that's hilarious.
He's like,
He doesn't have to listen to the episode to see
he's
the
like, that's
comment.
effing funny.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
like holy
Oh,
F, that's
we don't
effing
swear.
funny.
Oh,
That's so
I was listening to last week's
If he
episode.
listens for a while though, he'll understand how I meant it.
I was listening to last week's
No,
episode,
we
and
don't do that.
the talk about frequencies.
oh.
And Christian just kept bringing up the whole episode,
All the frequencies.
and it was so funny. And I text both of them a screenshot of the timestamp, and then sent the GIF of Michael Scott. when he's sitting with Ryan talking about business school, you are so smart.
Gavin,
you are
your reference
so
game,
effing smart.
your reference game is out of control, Gavin.
It's been killer.
Everybody
lately.
knows it.
Everybody knows that. Your references are so sick.
They're so accurate too. You guys are
He's
so smart. You are so
Um,
effing smart. And he says effing.
Yeah, hopefully that was able to pique someone's interest and they did some research on
Peaked mine. I
frequencies.
was peaked the whole time.
Literally.
Yeah.
Just freaked the whole time for these frequencies. It's actually very interesting, and I feel like I didn't explain it very well, but you guys, if you ask ChatGPT,
Hey, it is hard to explain.
yeah, I don't
There's
really
a lot
understand
to
it
it.
that
Really
much.
hard
You know,
thing to
C.S. Lewis
explain.
said that, I don't know.
I bet you're going to butcher that too.
Yeah, I was gonna. It was like
Too
something
much
about if you
information.
can't explain a topic to anyone, like if you can't explain a topic down to its most basic form that anyone can understand,
You don't know
then
enough.
you don't understand the topic very well. And that's probably how I was last episode.
Could have been.
Hey, that's cool.
all right. I was just learning about it.
We've
What's
been
something
learning
we
so
can
much
explain really
I know.
well?
and
Literally.
reading so much.
So much
Parker,
knowledge just bouncing around. It's
Are you actually going to start reading books?
Thinking about it, it's just so low on my totem pole.
What's
right
thinking
now.
do?
What is high in your totem pole?
Fortnite.
Yeah.
Battle Royale.
On my Fortnite pool.
I really wanted to play PUBG.
It's a fun concept to me.
Fortnite or reading?
Fortnite.
Fortnite
also.
too, actually.
It's a good concept, but in reality,
In
it's
practice,
like,
it's
do I want to sit there and look at paper?
Or do I want to sit there and
think
look
so.
at my phone? Scroll,
Yeah,
scroll,
don't-
scroll.
I logged out of my Instagram for like a week.
you're back.
It was the best,
And you're back.
and then I got back on it just during like the showcase because I had to
Oh,
be
yeah.
there all day and
It was the best, but not as good as when I have it downloaded because I immediately downloaded it after.
I was
Yeah, I downloaded it. I got it back for like 2 hours, and then I deleted it again, and I have it deleted. So
I saw when you got back on because all of a sudden 1,000 like I was going through a lot of posts when we were at the LCS showcase
Yeah,
and I was
yeah.
like, man, Christian
Like
liked a
my
lot of
Christian.
these. He's like, bah, 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 bah. He's like,
posted
"Oh,
one
get
day
my
ago.
fix, get my fix.
Yeah, I just went crazy.
Yeah,
And then I
awesome.
just regretted it.
Oh, that yeah, because I had a lot of messages when I like got back on. So there's like the cream of the crop right there, the best reels on Instagram.
Oh yeah,
Then you log out again. just wait-
Creamstagram we call it.
Yeah.
wait for those to rise back to the top.
yeah.
Yeah, dude.
It's
that's
like
not
it's
fun.
like baking bread. You just
Yeah.
you're not doing something the whole time. You just come back when it's good.
That's probably the best analogy I've ever
I
heard
think-
about Instagram.
Come back when it's good.
Hmm.
When it's risen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I
Uh,
did tell myself like I'm just on here so much because I love all the content about football and whatever.
Then when it's
And
ready,
then
get baked.
I went back and saw some of these posts. I'm like, I
Oh, yeah.
really don't care.
I saw a lot about the Ducks, like their
Yeah.
Senior Bowl. They're saying that Tez Johnson's the best receiver, Jeffrey Bass is the best linebacker, and Josh Connerly is the best defensive
Said
tackle.
Dylan Gabriel threw the hardest pass of all time.
Yeah, and they're saying Dylan Gabriel threw the ball 170 miles an hour. Not really.
That'd be
I think
crazy.
that the reader was broken because the previous record was like 60 miles an hour for a throw,
60 something.
and Dylan Gabriel threw 75.
Mhm.
So
The
like
hardest
faster
throw for
than
a football.
I think it was like 60
no 74.9 was their
was his. I think the first was like 65 or something
Yeah.
like that.
So they're saying that he
Beat
outthrew
it by
the
10?
hardest
Like
thrower
Josh
of all
Allen,
time
Patrick
by 10
Mahomes.
miles an hour, which is probably not true. But
What's the
maybe.
distance?
It doesn't really matter
Like 10 feet.
because it'll just track it at its fastest point.
Right. That's crazy. I feel like for how hard people can throw a baseball, for
A lot
football, I know, but that would be so difficult. So 75 is crazy.
Yeah, 75 is insane. No wind up. I mean, you're kind of like using your weight, but not like a baseball wind up.
Yeah.
And the ball's
A little
so much heavier. You have a side grip and not a back grip on it.
Uh huh.
Insane.
It hurts my shoulder just thinking about
I
that.
know. I think it just
Oh my gosh,
dislocated.
I'm just not
actually.
going to do it.
Yeah,
My
you know what?
shoulder.
Let's go play Fortnite.
Did you ever have baseball games where when you're warming up your arm before the game,
Oh yeah,
you
knew
heard it?
You knew it was cooked.
Yeah,
Dude, that-
and then you're pitching, and then they're like, "Are you good to go?" And you're like, "Yeah." Yeah.
I for
Why
real had
would you
some
say
arm
you're
troubles
good to
in middle
go?
school when I was pitching.
Oh, I remember that. I think.
Like we went camping once, and my arm was just
Yeah.
cooked the whole trip because I had just thrown a tournament,
Mm-hmm.
and I started probably prematurely throwing curveballs early in my career. I was throwing curveballs in like middle school.
Getting kind of
and I-
sidearm.
Yeah, and I
so you
think it
could not
like.
stop throwing curves.
Well, I think this curves is a more unnatural throwing motion than like
Mhm.
a fastball, and I think it just messed up my shoulder or something because it was always hurting.
Yeah, I've always noticed it kind of hangs a little weird on the right side. It's like, Christian's just got a weird right shoulder, but it's fine.
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah, that was always the worst because I'd feel so good going into the game. I had a friend who had a this special icer for his arm. Like you strap up your arm and then you turn on this machine that pumps cold ice water through it the entire time.
We had that in the studio and it sprays down our face.
Bro, I would love that just around my neck.
No, it would go numb, bro. It hurts. Great. I hated icing my arm. Really? Yeah. It didn't hurt for you?
I never really iced it. That's probably why
that's probably.
Let's fill this
painful.
Put dry ice in the ceiling and then it just rains down cold fog on us.
And we just keep getting burned from how...
It would look so sick. You'd open the door, just...
Welcome to our laboratory.
That'd actually be so hard.
Just as we're recording.
What do you guys think about all the planes crashing, huh? There's a bunch of planes crashing.
Yeah.
And Mariah told me about that because I wasn't on Instagram and she was like, did you know?
There's been like 3 of them in the past week. There was the one in the river that got hit by a helicopter.
Yep.
There was one, there's 2 more. What was the
other? There's one that was a smaller plane. I don't know if that one was in the U.S., but it crashed right before landing in kind of the suburbs.
Oh, yeah. And then there was the one in Philadelphia or something like that.
That part's always freaked me out the most about flying is landing.
Yeah. They say that's where most of the accidents happen. Taking off and landing.
Except for that one at Reagan Airport. They shut down the entire airport. It was 6 p.m. because a Black Hawk helicopter flew right. It was the plane was only 400 feet off the ground. Yeah, and it got smashed into.
What are we doing?
Everybody lands in the river.
How do you?
Reagan. It's in DC.
Yeah. In DC, you hit like T-boned a.
Yeah.
How does that happen, dude?
You got to be really good or really bad. Really good if you're doing it on purpose, or really bad if it was an accident.
Like incredibly bad. No, not even bad, because you can't be. I don't even know. How do you figure out how to do that?
I'm sure the helicopter's loud and it was dark. But all of that stuff has lights. You also
450 feet off the ground in front of an airport runway.
Well, that is also because there's a base right there, and so they probably were taking off
they
from the airport.
Put the base, military base, right next to the
right in front
airport.
of the runway.
Yeah.
Gosh, it just makes me sick.
There was like 60 something people died from that.
That's unreal.
Probably like the luckiest part is that it wasn't a big airliner.
It was a big plane. It was a
60 passenger isn't huge.
No, it wasn't a 60 passenger.
Oh my goodness.
That was how many people died that I know of.
Nobody survived.
Everyone would have died.
No way anybody survived.
Oh, I know. That's what I'm saying. Last I had read, that's how many bodies they had found in the Hudson or whatever.
Oh.
That's in New York.
Is that the Hudson?
That is in New York.
In the water.
Washington, D.C. River is what it's called. Oh. No, I have no idea.
No idea either. I think it's the Euphrates.
Yeah, okay.
It's actually
Tigris. It's a Tigris. Actually.
Tigris,
yeah. But yeah, it's been crazy. It makes me a little bit nervous to fly because that was like one of them was American Airlines, I think.
Never flown American. Yes, I have.
I was going to get a credit card. I was going to get a credit card for one of these airline companies for points for all my jobs. It'll be like my business, my work credit card.
Goodness.
So don't know if it'll be American anymore.
Luka Doncic is now in Los Angeles.
Crazy news that dropped
Dallas
last
Mavericks
night.
are cooked. So they're donezo.
Yeah.
They're going to fade into irrelevance once again.
Of course, right when I become a Mavericks fan.
Right when you get their hat, right when he gets sat, right when you go
I almost
to
got a
their
Luka
game.
shirt. I'm so glad I didn't.
Yeah, dude, that is the worst trade deal in the history of trade deals. Maybe ever.
Great for LA.
Yeah, great for LA. We got Anthony Davidson, the worst center in the league.
Davidson? Which one's that?
Anthony Davidson? Unibrow?
Yeah, Davis.
The big white guy or like mixed guy. He's always injured, constantly injured. 7 feet tall. Played for the Pelicans for a while.
Mm-hmm.
He was drafted to the Pelicans.
He's got a massive unibrow.
Yeah.
Got
I remember when I was working at the shoe store here, there was a girl there who was like in love with him. So I thought about her like, oh, she's probably so excited.
Goodness gracious.
And she was like, I've told my husband if I would leave him for Anthony Davis. I'm like, that's a crazy thing to say.
That is an insane thing to say. I hate when people say
Anthony.
that.
It's Anthony.
Which, yeah, what a crazy looking guy.
Yeah.
I love that unibrow.
That's what she said.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's disgusting. But good for him, I guess. Everybody's going to rely on him now.
Like, they got all these players at the end of their prime.
All these
so
Wasp
awesome.
players. It's where players go to die.
Dang it.
Careers ended.
Luka Doncic is just 25 years old.
That's crazy, dude.
10, 15 years ahead of him.
But I guess, like, the main thing is that they're worried about, like, his weight. I guess, like, he...
No way.
Yeah, dude, like, it was, like, conditioning issues.
There's no way it would have been because of performance. He's like very clearly top 3
I think,
player
like-
in the league.
Oh yeah, but they were just concerned about like his cardio, I guess.
Oh Lord.
He's gonna like die
He's
or
gonna
something.
die.
He
on
really
the court.
doesn't play defense though, so
He's like. There's no way that they thought he was not good enough, and that's why they traded him. I thought maybe
I'm
it
not,
was because like
I'm not saying he's not good enough.
like
I
market
think he's
cap or like
amazing.
you didn't have enough money
Oh,
to
yeah, they
pay
would have
for
paid
him or
him a ton.
something.
How much was his new contract?
I think it was 100
Bajil.
bajil. I think is what it was.
A
Several.
bajil. That's
I think it was a bajil a month. So pretty good.
yeah.
And he didn't request the trade.
Yeah,
Luka didn't.
I saw that he was
And
shocked by
the
it.
Mavericks approached the Lakers to acquire Anthony Davis.
Like
this
LeBron
is-
didn't even
yeah.
know what was going on. Can you believe that?
Can you
The
believe
Sunshine
the
was
Sunshine
blindsided.
was insane, dude. So dumb.
I
We'll see. I wonder how the Mavericks did today in their game now that they don't have Luka Doncic.
was also thinking recently I want to play basketball some more.
Okay.
We used to play in your driveway all the time.
Yeah, that is
Play
true.
some ball. She's
We- dude, remember-
I'd set up my car and turn on my headlights.
We played so much.
Yeah.
That was awesome. Oh, the Mavericks lost by 40 points today.
Oh my word!
101 to 144 to the Cavaliers.
Oh my goodness!
That's
So
embarrassing.
not too good so far.
But it sounds like the Lakers are ready to like, all right, next generation. LeBron's on his way out.
Yeah, bring in Bronny.
We got bring up Bronny from the G League.
Yeah.
Get Luka in there.
Yeah, is he done in college?
Yeah, he got drafted.
Lakers are going to be dominant.
Unfortunately.
Maybe not dominant.
Continue their legacy.
After Luka took him to the championship last year.
Yeah, that's gonna.
He was like the best Mavericks player since Dirk.
Yeah,
like, by far.
By far. He might be better than Dirk.
He just was so good because he led him to that championship.
Yeah.
I think that's their only one in franchise
Against
history.
Prime Bron and the Big Three in Miami.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're done. I'm glad we, never got to see him
I
play.
know.
That's cool.
I
No, I'm
went-
definitely not going to a
I went to a
game.
Mavericks game and Luka Doncic wasn't playing that day. And I was like, oh, that's all right. Because they're playing the Warriors. So I was like,
Mhm.
the main thing is I want to see Steph Curry play. I'll be able to see Luka hundreds of times in the future when we play again. Because he's just right down the road. But now he's literally in Los Angeles, California. So I'll never be able to see him play.
Maybe on your honeymoon.
Yeah, you know what? That's true.
Take a drive.
Luka, come do a private showcase for us. She drugs me to keep me a vegetable. Pull up that video.
What?
Just look up, she drugs me to keep me a vegetable. You won't believe what he says in the video.
Let me guess, it's something about how much he loves how healthy he is because of her.
She drugs me to keep me a vegetable. What? She drugs
That
me to
cost
keep
He's
me
like
a
a disabled
vegetable.
guy, and he like has a text to speech thing to
She
communicate
drugs
with
me to
people.
keep me a vegetable.
So he's like pranking her.
I will just come with you.
Please, Mom, I don't want to be a vegetable anymore. Are you stealing, Mom? Are you stealing, Mom?
Mom, no one's wondering if you're stealing again.
Are you stealing, Mom?
Stop it. Seriously, dude.
I wonder how is he typed on there?
It's just like the Hawkins. What was the guy's name?
Yeah, Stephen Hawking.
Merry Christmas. Oh, do you have something to say now?
She drugs me to keep me a vegetable.
Dude, just the Fergo at the beginning. The way his voice.
She drugs me to keep me a vegetable. She drugs me to keep me a vegetable. She drugs me to keep me a vegetable.
Just the voice. Why the fact that they chose that voice?
Such a low voice.
She drugs me to keep me a vegetable. Mom, are you stealing? Mom,
Mommy, she's
stealing.
again.
Oh man.
She drugged me to keep me a vegetable.
That's going on one of my favorite video lists. We have that one, the kid with the red hair that scared the ladies.
Yes.
There's one more that's like a classic for me.
Instead of giving him a freaking packet, yo.
Give it free, you need to touch their freaking hearts. Kids don't learn like that.
Have you seen that video?
Yeah.
Kids
What's-
don't learn like that.
You remember the dog?
No, I am listening.
Dang, boy.
Oh yeah.
Dang,
Oh, I forgot
boy.
about that one.
I don't even remember the full video.
It is so hot in the studio. We're still making improvements.
Like
We're-
air conditioning.
Air conditioning.
We gotta put an AC unit
It's
in
on the
there.
list.
We didn't, expect it to be 95 degrees in February, so
February 2nd, to be specific.
Yeah, it's not even the end of February. It just started. You guys, it's so much fun recording episodes for you listeners, and you comment and you leave such great reviews. It's fantastic. I love it. I love when you follow us on Instagram and like our reels, and then you send us questions and DMs. We love it. And also so YouTube comments. Pretty sick when people do that. There's not always stuff to respond to, you know, when you guys leave a comment, but I like to see it. So leave those comments, like and subscribe on our YouTube channel, and dang, follow us on Instagram. Anyway, that's my spiel.
Go Ducks.
Anyone else?
That's it. See you guys.
Peace.
Later.